Hey everyone, hello. So today we're going to do a deep dive into Young Boy Never Broke Again and his wrestling with dark imagery, what he's called demonic in his music and industry, his recent statements about Mormonism, and what it all means. So, Young Boy Never Broke Again's real name is Contrell Deshawn Gaulden, and he's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and he's known for his prolific output of raw, often violent, emotionally intense lyricism. Recently, he's been living in Utah under house arrest and dealing with some legal issues. In November 2023, in an interview with Complex, Young Boy described the music industry as a demonic industry that I chose to be a part of. He added, "So it's like I accept it, I run with it, but don't be a dummy. At the same time, you gotta understand they're using me as entertainment." He acknowledged that being in the industry can lead to self-destruction. Some shit can't be spoke on. Why? Man, 'cause this shit is to be continued. That was his statement. He also reflects remorse for the hurt his lyrics may have caused, especially to the younger listeners. In Paper Magazine, he did an interview and said, "I was wrong and I'm sorry." Some of his projects and songs use imagery of demons, hell, dark parties, like Demon Party. It's a video he did. It's also a single title from 2023. In the music video for High Haters, a verse from the Book of Mormon is quoted at the beginning. "Now, as my mind caught hold upon this thought, I cried within my heart, O Jesus, thou Son of God, have mercy on me, who am in the gall of bitterness, and am encircled about by the everlasting chains of death." Alma 36:18. He seems to view demonic not purely as rhetorical flourish, but as describing real pressures in the music business, exploitative dynamics, self-destructive impulses, as well as being used. Also a tension, wanting to create, perform, but struggles with the fallout within himself and the listeners. He's publicly expressed a desire to become baptized in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the LDS Church, i.e., to become Mormon. He originally turned away Mormon missionaries at his house in Utah, but later he let them in. He described them as wonderful souls who had nothing to do with business or money. And he meets daily with the missionaries and enjoys discussing the Book of Mormon with them. Now, he's waiting for his ankle monitor to come off so that he can get baptized. So, why is he doing it and what he says it means? It seems driven by remorse, regret over how his music content may have influenced people to do harm, a search for change of mindset, reflecting on identity, purpose, and impact. Utah living also has played a role. His environment, missionary contact, and a somewhat break from the constant touring and public exposure. So, what is Mormonism, or the LDS Church? Well, their core beliefs and practices. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also called Mormonism, was founded in the early 19th century by Joseph Smith. It believes in restoration of original Christian church. Key scriptures include the Book of Mormon, Bible doctrine, and covenants, and pearl of great price. Ordinances like baptism, confirmation, temple ordinances, and emphasis on family, missionary work, moral standards like words of wisdom, chastity, and modesty. Missionary work, getting others to hear and learn the Book of Mormon and church teachings. Personal conversion and rebirth are central. So what about Mormonism's relationship to ritual, symbolism, and secret ceremonies? The temple ceremonies in LDS tradition include covenants, symbolic actions, ceremonial clothing, sacred rituals. These are considered sacred and not fully public. Prayer circles, historically part of certain church practices now used in temples. So now let's talk about the occult, Freemasonry, and Mormonism. What's the connection and what people claim? So first, let's talk a little bit about Freemasonry basics. I've done videos on this before, but it's a fraternal organization dating back centuries with lodges, symbolic rituals, degree systems, moral teachings, and use of allegory, symbols like the all-seeing eye, aprons, tools, metaphors, stones, trowels, building, etc., often regarded as a secular fraternal order, not a religion per se. It has ritual and symbolism, but belief in deity is usually required, but no official theology. So let's talk about occultism and the definition and differentiations. Occult generally refers to hidden, mystical knowledge or practices, magic, divination, secrets, knowledge, rituals, sometimes invocation of spiritual beings, etc., often considered outside Christian mainstream orthodoxy. So the historical connections between Mormonism and Freemasonry is that Joseph Smith, the founder of LDS Church, became a Freemason in 1842 in Nauvoo, Illinois. The early LDS Church introduced temple endowment ceremonies in a similar time period. People have noted symbolic similarities between Masonic rituals and LDS endowment ceremonies. Some LDS authors and scholars accept that there are similarities with the rituals, gestures, symbols, handshake, use of veils, certain oath-like covenants, but also emphasizes the difference of intent and theology purpose. Critics sometimes allege that because of secret ritual elements, symbolic oaths, etc., that there is overlap with occult or mystical traditions. But this depends on a lot on how one defines a cult. Mormonism's official position, temple ceremonies are sacred, not occult in the sense of evil magic or magical practices. The church materials sometimes address similarities to Freemasonry, but stress distinctiveness. The Book of Mormon contains condemnation of secret combinations, which are conspiracy and oath-bound societies associated with evil in its narrative. So, does Mormonism practice occultism in the sense critics charge? Probably not in the controversial sense, but its rites are ritual, symbolic, secret, sacred, and some people outside may see the parallels. So, conclusion and takeaway is that YoungBoy's journey from darkness to seeking spiritual grounding is part of a larger tradition, artists using faith to deal with pain, guilt, and industry exploitation. So, yeah, there you have it. There's a little bit about Young Boy, Never Broke Again. As always, I hope you liked this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notifications. All right, everyone, take care. Peace.